Assalamu alaikum everyone, my name is Khalifa Al Haroon. I am the head of innovation and interactive at Vodafone Qatar, and today I've got the Blackberry Q10 to share with all of you. So a lot of people have been asking questions like, please show us the Blackberry 10. Before I get started though, I just want to say thank you so much for all of the positive and amazing comments and feedback that you've been giving me. And I hope that you see that we're improving the videos every single time we post a video. Shukran wide. And so what we're going to be doing is applying a couple of things. So one of the things you asked for was, can you please display the specs on screen as I'm talking about them? Yes, we can, and we are going to do that, and you're going to see them pop up, on the screen this time. And if you like what we've done, again, please just give us some feedback. If there's something that you think that we could do better, let me know, and I will be forever grateful. So let's talk about the Q10. First of all, we're going to talk about the specs in comparison to the Blackberry 9900. And so a lot of people are familiar with this phone, and everybody was worried, hey, so is this going to be much better or not? And let's just quickly take a look at the overall design view. So you'll see that the Q10 is a little bit bigger, and it is almost the same thickness, by the way. It's not that much thicker. It's hardly. It's 0.8 millimeters thicker. It's just that because of the shape and little curvature that it has going on, that it gives the illusion of the 9900 being thinner. And of course they've dropped the silver bezel, and what they've done is, yes, this is still metal over here, although some people thought that it was black plastic, and it's just black metal this time. So everybody's going with a different styling. You can also get the phone, just as you could get the 9900 in black and white, you can also get the Q10 in black and white as well. What you'll also notice is some very big differences. So one of them is the fact that there's no more trackball / optical trackpad or dedicated buttons, and I'll share my opinion on that a little bit more. You'll also later on. You'll also see that the keyboard is a little bit curved on the 9900, whereas with the Q10 it is completely parallel with the screen. Now I don't know what you would prefer. From my experience, Microsoft says that ergonomic keyboards, should be a little bit curved. But then again, a keyboard, you type on it like that. You don't tap on it with your thumb. So let's see how it's going to make a difference, and if it is going to make a difference. Quickly looking at the side, we'll see that yes, we still have the volume rocker button. We've got the convenience key right here in the center. But what we do lose is we lose that dedicated button right here in the bottom. On the top, it's almost identical in the sense that you've got the power button, except now they've moved the headphone jack right to the top. Now if you look at the other side, again, so on the 9900 you've got the headphone jack, and then you've got the USB. What they've done, again, they've shifted the headphone jack to the top, and now you've got a USB, and you've also got a mini HDMI port, so that's pretty cool. At the very bottom, you'll see a huge grill over here, and so this is where you get the microphone. You also have a speaker. And if you take a look at the back really quickly, they've still got the carbon fiber effect. This has got a carbon fiber looking effect with plastic over it, and whereas with this, it's got rubber edges, and over here we've got the carbon fiber looking. And I'm going to surprise you with a little bit of facts. So let me just put this phone down for a second and quickly show you this next to its brother. This is a phone that a lot of people are familiar with. It's the Z10, and you can see the difference in size. Here's a quick difference in width, and then this is the back. And I'm just going to put that to the side as well. So let's take a look at the differences again in terms of specifications. So the Q10 has around a 3.1-inch screen, and you'll hear a couple of ringing. Please excuse that. That's because we're popular at Vodafone, and sometimes we get some messages and we need to reply to them. We love you guys. We got a 3.1-inch screen. On the Bold 9900, we've got a 2.8-inch screen. They use a TFT technology here, and they use a Super AMOLED technology here. The Q10 has a 1.5 dual-core GHz A9 processor, whereas the Bold 9900 has a 1.2 GHz QC processor. The Q10 has 2 gigs of RAM. The 9900 has 768 MB of RAM. The Q10 has 16 gigs of storage. The 9900 had 8 gigs of storage, and of course both of them accept a micro SD card. The Q10 supports 2G, 3G, and 4G, and the 9900 only supported 2G and 3G. In terms of overall size, in terms of length, this is 119.6 millimeters compared to the 115 millimeters. In terms of thickness of the phone, and of course the width, it's 66.8 compared to 66. In terms of thickness, it's 10.5 compared to 10.4, so it's only 0.1 millimeters thicker. In terms of resolution, this is something that you guys are really interested in. This has 720 by 720 pixels resolution, and this has 640 by 480 pixels resolution. In terms of PPI, that's pixels per inch, this has 328 pixels per inch compared to the 286. 328 is very close to the iPhone range, by the way, of PPI. In terms of camera, this had a 5 megapixel camera, this has a 8 megapixel camera, and also has a 2 megapixel front facing camera. It's got the usual stuff like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, NFC, loads of sensors. In terms of battery, this phone had a 1230 milliamp battery. This has a 2100 milliamp battery, and by the way, it does a really, really good job in terms of battery life. So let's talk about the phone. While it does have the same PPI as the iPhone, I could see pixels. It's probably because of the way that the pixels have been arranged or oriented on the screen. I'm not entirely sure, probably is because of the way that they've got the pixels configured or arranged on their screen itself. The colors look vibrant and rich thanks to the AMOLED screen, and you know, it's got a great grip. It's nice to hold. Although it's a bit bigger than the 9900, you won't even notice it unless you've got both phones next to each other together. If we take a look at the back, people ask why did they go with that fake carbon fiber look? But it's not fake, it's actually a glass weave. It's actual flexible glass, and they've covered it with a coat of rubberized material to give you a better grip. So this is real, guys, this is not fake. So, as I mentioned, no more do they have the trackpad or the dedicated buttons. Personally, I prefer dedicated buttons. And I don't know about you guys, but when I have a phone call and I want to make sure that that phone call is, hung up, I'll click hang up like 3 or 4 times just to make sure. Because you never know. If I wanted to move on, I wanted to talk about our film guy Rami for a second, I would be like, hey man, just close that phone really fast. Okay, now he's gone. Now I can mention how awesome he is. You didn't think I would say anything bad, did you? And so with this you don't have that. You do have the soft screen, of course, the soft touch buttons, and what they do is they rely a lot on gestures. So you swipe up to see the cards of apps that you have available on the screen, and if you swipe that, you get a little bit of the hub on the side. And if we look over at the screen itself, I mean, it's you can pull this down, similar to Android where they've got the and of course iOS where they've got the drawer. To be honest, I'm not really a fan of the swiping gestures, but let me tell you why. So to go back or to exit, I prefer to actually click back or to click on a home button. With this, you swipe up to get to exit an application. So in this case, let's just quickly open up the camera app, and then I'll swipe up to close it. Now, because the screen is so low and so close to the keyboard, it's kind of difficult to make sure that my thumb is off screen before I can swipe up. I tend to touch the screen, then go up, and then I end up doing the wrong thing. And it kind of makes me wonder, because there's so much space on the top, maybe they could have done their magic to change what was inside the internals of the phone, to shift the screen just a little bit higher so that I could have more of a gap to swipe up to go home. So that was just a little bit of feedback. It's got a fantastic keyboard. The keyboard is amazing. It gives you that satisfying click that you're used to hearing from Blackberry. So I love the keyboard. As I mentioned, it's really great to hold, and it's all about the OS itself. I almost said iOS for a second. No, it's not iOS. It is Blackberry 10. It is OS 10. The old phone used to use OS 7, and then they jumped to OS 10, and they've completely rebuilt it from the ground up. And if you're familiar with the Z10, so you'll be familiar with the Q10 as well. So what else should I mention? Let's talk about the camera. The camera is actually quite fast when it comes to snapping pics. What it'll do is it'll go ahead and it will focus, turn green, touch anywhere on the screen, and it takes a picture. That's pretty fast. And it's quite fluid in terms of movement overall. I love the fact that they've made sure to have an oilophobic screen, so that when I do wipe it, it's quick to remove the oils on the front and fingerprints from the screen itself. And what do you need to watch out for? Just watch out for the fact that if you love dedicated buttons, this doesn't have it. It really relies on touch gestures. One of the things that was great about the 9900 was that you had an option. You could either stick to just using the buttons if you didn't want to use touch, but here it's too bad you're going to use touch. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Do you have any questions? Are you interested in the Blackberry Q10? Are you thinking about buying it? Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget, you can also buy this from a Vodafone store or visit www.vodafone.qa. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed the review.